This episode is brought to you by San Pellegrino Ciao, a new kind of flavored sparkling water. The kind made with real fruit juice, a pinch of Sicilian salt, and the sparkle of the Italian sun. With no added sugar and just 10 or less calories per can, enjoy. With love, from Italy. By San Pellegrino Ciao now.
I'm always looking for ways to show my cat how much I love her. And with Fancy Feast gems, I can pamper her whenever I want with a savory gravy on top of a gourmet mousse pâté. The pyramid shape makes serving simple, so all I have to do is peel and plate to make mealtime feel extra fancy. And with 2 entrees in every pack, it's easy to turn every day into the extraordinary. Fancy Feast gems.
Is dating exhausting you? Do you feel like you are ready to just throw in the towel? Maybe it's time for a reset. Let's talk about how to take a dating break. Welcome back to Dating Intentionally. I'm Talia. I'm sharing no-nonsense advice for navigating dating and relationships with confidence and ease, whether you've been dating for a while or you're just getting started. I believe dating can be fun. And today we are talking about taking dating breaks, or as I like to call them, a dating reset. We're going to get into signs it's time to reset, how to do it strategically, how to handle the fear of missing out, and we'll also talk about what to actually do on your break and how to ease back into dating. At the end, I'm also going to answer a dating dilemma, and I have a brand new segment for you. As always, I want to hear from you. Shoot me a DM on Instagram at dating.intentionally with your dating questions. You can also shoot me an email at datingintentionallypod@gmail.com. You can also comment if you're listening on Spotify. And if you're watching on YouTube, hello. Lovely to see you here. You can leave a comment there too. I'm excited to get into this topic today because, like anything else, dating burnout is real and it does affect your mood, your mindset around dating, your attitude towards your desired gender, and just so much more in your life. And sometimes it is beneficial to take a step back, take a break, take some time to reset. And I'm curious, maybe you've already done this. Maybe you're thinking about doing it, or maybe, at this rate, it'll probably happen in the future. So we are going to get into all of that today. First, I want to share my experience. I did take breaks in my dating journey. There were 2 major breaks. I guess really 1, technically. But I will say, I took intentionally time for myself, time to be single right after my big breakup. I did not launch right back into dating after being with someone for 6 years. I decided I wasn't even going to look at the dating apps for 3 months. And that is the amount of time it took for, me to untangle my life from my ex's life. Like, there was no way I was going to focus on dating when I was trying to deal with getting off of my ex's health insurance and stuff like that. So, there was a lot to do, and I knew that not focusing on dating would be really beneficial. But then during my journey, I took a break after a 2-month, short relationship, with someone I met in person, because I found out that he was an alcoholic and it ended really badly. When I say really badly, probably compared to what you may have gone through, maybe it wasn't so bad, but basically, he got really wasted at a party. I was horrified. It was embarrassing. I felt like I was in danger. And the next day, I ended things with him around Thanksgiving time. So I was like, I'm not dating again until the new year. So I took off, that entire holiday season, because that was so rough for me and I knew I needed time to cool off from that. So yes, I took breaks. That's the main break I took, and I found it really beneficial. I needed that breath of fresh air vibe to come back to dating with a much better mindset. And here's the thing, here's why we need to take breaks. If you're feeling salty about dating or your desired gender, if you're feeling jaded, then going on dates isn't going to work. You are not going to have a good time dating when that is your attitude. Even if you met the best person in the world, you're still going to be carrying that vibe and energy with you. So taking a break will help you move away from that energy and vibe and move towards something more positive. I really think that breaks are necessary, like having a reset is necessary. Think about it like working out, right? You need to have your rest days. You need to have days where you're not lifting and moving and pushing yourself so that your body can recover and your muscles will actually grow. And I think the same thing is true for dating. Sometimes pushing through the pain isn't the answer. Sometimes the answer is taking a step back and reassessing. Here are some signs that it's time for a dating reset. 1, you feel negatively about your desired gender, as I've said. 2, you're feeling like there's no one out there. Like if that's just where your headspace is, like if you're feeling like that, continuing to search is not going to help you. If you feel like dating is a chore, time for a break. If you're dating because you feel pressure to, not because you really want to. If every interaction on a dating app makes you want to throw your phone across the room. And if you're still pining for your ex and hoping they'll come back, maybe dating isn't going to be the best thing for you. If you feel like your confidence has taken a huge hit, and if you don't feel open to anyone. So I can imagine some of you listening might be like nodding your head, like, yep, that's me. And I just want to say it's okay to take a break. Like, you're not a failure. You're not bad at dating. You're not a bad date or like undateable if you find yourself in this mindset in this moment. Like, you need to have compassion and grace for yourself because dating is fucking hard. It is really hard. And sometimes we just need to step back. Okay, so how do you take a break? How do you even do this reset? My best recommendation is to set a time limit. And I recommend 4 to 8 weeks, giving yourself this time limit, like a deadline, like, okay, I'm recording this, it's about to be June. And so if I'm like, okay, I'm going to take a break until July 4th, right? Like from now until July 4th, I'm not dating. Like that will help you stick to your break and not feel fear of missing out because you know that this reset is temporary. It will end and you will return back to the dating pool. When you're taking a reset, you definitely want to pause your dating app profiles and delete the apps. Don't delete your profile. You can go in the settings. Most apps allow you to pause, meaning your profile won't be shown to anyone else. And like you just kind of are taken out of the algorithm until you hit unpause. So that's better than deleting the apps and starting from scratch the next time you re-download them. So that way you don't have to rebuild your entire profile. Similarly, you don't want to go to singles events during your dating break. So really make a point to disengage from spaces virtually and in person where like the point is dating. Those are not the spaces you want to be in during your break. I would also recommend making a plan. Like, what do you want to focus on during this reset? What do you need? Check in with yourself. The whole point of taking some time to reset is to come back to who you are as a person without someone else in the mix, like without worrying about someone else if they're going to text you back. Like, what is your brain like when you don't have a crush? Who are you when you're not trying to impress someone? Who are you when you're not worrying if someone likes you back? That is the point of having that reset because that is a huge part of where your confidence comes from, right? We need to sometimes rebuild that confidence. And if that's where you're at, I get it. Another way you can make the most of this dating reset is to not talk about dating so much, right? Like this is your time to talk about other things with your friends and in your life. So you don't have to worry about, engaging. You can tell your friends like, hey, I'm on a dating break. Like I would really rather not talk about our dating lives right now and let's talk about other things. So that's another way you can engage in a dating break. Same goes for like your social feed, right? You can clean that up. You can mute dating accounts. Hell, if you have to mute my account and mute my podcast, whatever, like great, go do that. Whatever it takes to help get you back to yourself and really get you back to feeling good about your life. I think sometimes when we go on a lot of dates and they end up not going anywhere, we can really feel it like perpetuates this feeling of, oh, I'm behind, or oh, things aren't working out for me. Look at everyone else. It's all working out for them. It's like, no. Let's really unplug ourselves from that mindset and tap into all the wonderful things we do have in life, or even focus on building other parts of our life. Like, how can we develop other areas maybe that are not related to dating at all, like your friendships, your community. Maybe you want to start a workout routine. Maybe you want to start, I just started watercoloring. Maybe you want to start a watercoloring practice. Like whatever it is, you can focus on something you want to build instead of your dating life. When it comes to dating breaks, some people ask me, like, how do you make this meaningful? How do you really make this reset meaningful? Because some people do want to take this time to work on themselves to be better at dating and be a better partner and all those things. And I don't think you have to do that on your dating reset, but if you're feeling like I want to use this time to improve myself, hey, all power to you. My suggestions for this would be, one, take stock of your current beliefs on dating. This is a good time to check in with yourself. Be like, what are my beliefs about dating? Where is my mind on this? Like, what Kool-Aid am I drinking? What are my beliefs? You might notice that something about your beliefs needs to change in order for you to be open to meeting someone when you do return to dating. It's also a good time to ask yourself, am I hanging out with other people in person who make me feel negatively about dating, right? Is this like a time maybe you want to clean up your real life social feed, if that makes sense, like who you're hanging out with? It's like, what are their beliefs? And am I internalizing my friends' beliefs about dating too? You can reflect on what's contributing to your burnout. If you're feeling really tired of dating, this is a good time to be like, why? What specifically is making me tired of dating? Or like, why do I even feel like I need to take a break right now? And you can take this time to dig into that. You can also take time to reflect on what you want to try differently when you get back into dating, right? Maybe it's screening people better. Maybe it's trying a new dating app. Maybe it's you want to go to more singles events and ditch the apps or have shorter first dates, or maybe there's certain boundaries that you need to work on so that you don't get hurt as, often. Maybe you want to work on communicating more directly. There's a lot to do. And finally, you can take time to reflect on what your life goals are, right? Like maybe this is a good time to check on, like, why am I even dating? Does this even make sense for my life right now? Does it align with what I want? It's okay to want a partner. It's also okay to not want a partner. Again, I'm not saying you have to use your dating reset to work on getting better at dating or work on yourself, but it's an option. I think it's also fine to completely ignore all of that and just do other things, like maybe take time to travel solo. Do something that you've been, quote, waiting for a partner to do with. Screw that. Do it now. Don't wait for someone to come into your life. Do it now. Go take that trip. Or maybe it's hanging out with your friends more, focusing on hobbies, like I said earlier. This is a good time to try new things. Get out of your comfort zone a little bit in ways that have nothing to do with dating. So yeah, my advice here, if you want to be intentional with your dating reset, decide which direction you want to take, decide on a time frame, and go enjoy it. So after the break, we're going to talk about how to deal with the FOMO, the fear of missing out.
Hey, it's Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile. Now, I was looking for fun ways to tell you that Mint's offer of unlimited premium wireless for $15 a month is back. So I thought it would be fun if we made $15 bills. But it turns out that's very illegal. So there goes my big idea for the commercial. Give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan, equivalent to $15 per month required. New customer offer for first 3 months only. Speed slow after 35 gigabytes if network's busy. Taxes and fees extra. See mintmobile.com.
Today's top story, the flavor merger of the century between the Peanut Butter Group and Chocolatey Corp. Joining me is a PBC executive.
Thanks for having me, Barry.
Now, how did you know the merger and the byproduct of it, Jif peanut butter and chocolate flavored spread, would be a success?
It was a gut feeling, a rumbling, if you will. Besides, they're two titans of taste.
Very true. Goes great with pretzels.
And pancakes.
Apples too, I bet. Try Jif PBC today.
All right, welcome back. So I think one of the biggest hesitations around taking a dating break is that fear of missing out. Like, what if my partner is out there while I'm taking a break? What if my soulmate is firing up Hinge right now and I'm not there? And I get it. Like, that is a real concern. So here are some reminders. 1, the dating pool will be there when you're ready to jump back in. They're not going anywhere, I promise. 2, your person will be there too. Like, you're not going to miss your person if you take a break. What is meant for you is not going to pass you by. Like, I promise, really. And again, back to what I said earlier, the things that combat fear of missing out are, 1, asking your friends to not talk about it so much, like talk about dating so much. And 2, setting that deadline. Be like, you know what, I'm intentionally pausing until, Labor Day or whatever it is. And then I will come back to dating. The dating pool will be there for me. I need to take this time for myself. You need to prioritize you, right? I also want to touch on getting back into dating after a breakup. After a breakup is definitely a good time to let the feelings of that wash away, move through them, allow yourself to feel them, and then let them kind of dissipate. Because if you bring that energy to your dating, it's going to really mess you up. Let me tell you about an experience I had. So after I ended an 8-month relationship with a guy I met in person when I was 23, I immediately got back on the apps and met my ex-boyfriend who I dated for 6 years. There was 2 weeks between those two relationships. And I really thought I was ready to date because I was like skipping away from, the previous relationship. I was really happy it was over because I was so bored. But then like I had my first date with my ex-boyfriend, and like I've never talked about this before, but like after that first date, I remember crying in the cab on the way home like a Taylor Swift song, right? I feel like that's like in one of her songs, Cruel Summer. Like I literally was that girl crying in the cab. And I drunk called my ex-boyfriend, the other guy that I broke up with. And like I vaguely remember telling him about the date, like drunkenly. That's not a sign someone is ready to date. That's a sign someone needs a break. But I was 23, and this is the advice I would give to my 23-year-old self. Like, girl, slow down, take a break. You don't need to be dating right now. Like, just do you. But nope, I got into a relationship and was in one for 6 years. So that wasn't my best moment. And that's why I think, again, I cannot stress this enough. Take a break after a breakup. Even if you're happy the relationship is over, even if you ended it, right? I also want to say, like, you're allowed to stop your break at any time. Let's just say you're doing you're out in the world, you're focusing on yourself, and then you do cross paths with someone who you feel excited about and want to date. Okay, go date them. Your dating break time frame isn't a law. You can break that rule. You can totally end the break early if you actually meet someone you're excited about. It's fine. So yeah, I just want to say it's okay to end your break anytime earlier than you want. It's totally okay. I think just make sure you're not, ending your break early because you feel pressure to date. I would say only end it early if you actually meet someone you're interested in. Another reminder here is just like, don't judge yourself. Dating can be so rough. And I know that on the other side of your break, if you choose to take one, you're going to come out feeling differently about your current state. So give yourself that grace, give yourself a chance to recover from whatever dating experiences you've had, and see who you are on the other side. Okay, so let's say you've taken your break, right? Your time is up and you want to get back into dating. Here are some tips. Because I hear this a lot. Someone will message me and be like, I haven't dated in the last 6 months. I was taking a break. I was dealing with other stuff, and I'm so nervous to date again. So listen, the first tip is to lower the stakes, right? When you get back into dating, you don't need that first date to work out. You don't need to find a relationship right away. You don't need to like be your best. I think about it like getting back into the gym after a couple weeks off because you were on vacation. It's like that first time you go back in might feel a little rusty. I mean, actually, I have a better example. I decided to put my climbing shoes on and go bouldering for the first time in like a year. And I felt really nervous. I felt awkward and rusty, and it was pretty bad, but no one's like looking at me. No one knows that I spent 3 years climbing basically and then took a year off and then got back into it and was like trash at it. No one knows. No one's paying that close attention. So lower the stakes and think about those first few dates back, like when you're back after your break, as just getting those reps in, just, shaking the rust off. I want you to have the mindset of like you're doing it for the plot. You're not doing it to find the one, right? You're doing it just to get back into dating, back into the groove, to feel it out, to see if that dating break even worked for you, right? And just remember, you don't have to get it right on that first date back after your break. Definitely lose the perfectionism, lower the stakes, get back in for fun, get back into just, get your sea legs back or whatever, and see what happens. Okay, speaking of breaks, let's take a quick one and we'll get into some questions.
This episode is brought to you by Indeed. When your computer breaks, you don't wait for it to magically start working again. You fix the problem. So why wait to hire the people your company desperately needs? Use Indeed's sponsored jobs to hire top talent fast. And even better, you only pay for results. There's no need to wait. Speed up your hiring with a $75 sponsored job credit at Indeed.com/podcast. Terms and conditions apply.
Are your business expenses playing hide and seek? With Uber for Business, the small spends that slip through the cracks, like rides and meals, go right where you need them. Because it integrates with leading expense platforms, you can say goodbye to surprise costs, missing dollars, or chasing receipts. Everything's track downable. Uber for Business. Make small steps that make a big impact. Learn more at uber.com/small steps.
How do I let go of the idea that taking a break equals delaying finding your person? I would invite you to think about your break as a step towards finding the right person, right? You are nourishing yourself. You are preparing yourself to be more open to a connection. I think this is a point towards finding the right person, not taking yourself out of the running necessarily. When is it a break versus a lifestyle choice to not date? So there is a difference between like, I don't date and I'm taking a break from dating. If your break goes a long time, like 6 months or a year, it might be time to check in with yourself and be like, hey, do I even want to? Right? Do I even have a desire to be in a relationship, or am I good? And it's okay if you figure out that actually, you know what? I release this. I don't really know if I want a partner at all, and I don't need to date. Great, you're off the hook. That's when it becomes a lifestyle choice, right? A break is when you know you are going to come back to it. A lifestyle choice is when you know you are not, right? I take breaks because I'm discouraged. How do I get back into it with enthusiasm? So I think this goes back to finding the fun in dating, right? If you want to, during a reset, take time to reflect on the parts you actually enjoyed. You know, I've talked about this before, but for me, it was getting ready, exploring my city, trying new restaurants and bars, and just interacting with people because I worked alone and lived alone. So focus on just finding the elements of fun that have absolutely nothing to do with finding a partner. And I think that's how you can come back in with more enthusiasm and just coming back to your why. Like maybe finding a partner is really, really important to you. Maybe that's like a huge thing that will make a difference in your life that you really want. So finding that enthusiasm also looks like going back to your why. Why is this so important to you? What's the big picture here? That's a great way to get yourself motivated. How do you deal with the fear of getting back into it? I mean, like anything else, I ask myself, what is truly the worst thing that can happen? Especially if you took a break following something bad. I mean, I'm not saying like go out and get hurt, but like you're tough. You've dealt with a lot. You're already really resilient. So trust that you've learned from those experiences and you will know better next time. You know, and really think, what are you scared of? What really is the worst that can happen? Do you really think you wouldn't be able to handle it? So I'm pretty sure that you can. Thank you so much for your question. So let me share what to do from here. 1, I'd love for you to evaluate if it's time for a break. Are you feeling jaded? Are you feeling salty? 2, decide how long that break will be. Do you need a month, 6 weeks, 3 months? What is it? And 3, choose a few priorities for your break. Are you going to reflect? Do you want to just have fun and go out and do things that you just sound fun to you? Are you going to travel? Are you going to not think about dating at all? Are you going to find a therapist? Like, what are you doing here? And remember to always have compassion for yourself and trust your timing. You have to put yourself first. You've got to take care of yourself. This is a version of self-care. So it will make you a better dater in the end. All right, so now I have a new segment for you, and then after that, I have a dating dilemma for you. So this new segment is called Dating Done Right, and this is all about your wins. So I asked listeners on Instagram to submit their wins, and I got so many dating wins. And what I love about sharing dating success is that they're not always about getting into relationships. They're also about walking away from people we know are wrong for us or like setting a boundary. So here's today's example of dating done right submitted by a listener. This is my biggest dating win so far. I took the first step to go from casual to set the intention of having a relationship. I did that by showing interest, and he replied with, "I'm ready for an exclusive relationship." And I said back that I'm happy to be exclusive with a maximum of 3 months. And then either we're going to be boyfriend and girlfriend or I'm out. I can't explain the feeling. It truly felt like a win. I said my piece and I didn't get attached to the outcome. It wasn't a threat either. I just communicated my limits. We're now boyfriend and girlfriend for 4 months since our first date. I absolutely love this. I mean, again, we love hearing people being direct, right? It doesn't have to be perfect. You just have to say like, hey, I'm interested in you. Cool. Here's what I'm ready for. Cool. I love that. But like, I want to only do this for 3 months and then, we're boyfriend, girlfriend. Like that's my standard here. That's what I want to do. And I just love that. One, she had the confidence to do this. Two, it worked out, obviously, which is great. But even if it didn't work out, even if it didn't end up with her in a relationship right now, she would have built this muscle of being direct. So thank you for sharing your win. That's dating done right. We love to see it. If you want to submit your win to me, you can DM me on Instagram at dating.intentionally. Okay, here's a dating dilemma for you. I, 30-year-old female, matched with a 32-year-old male on Hinge. We went on the first date quickly, had good chemistry. Second date also went well. We had consistent dates for about 2 months, approximately once a week. Things are progressing, and he tells me one night that he got a new job and will be moving. He's not sure when exactly, but he said sooner rather than later. He knew the job was a possibility in the future, but didn't think it would happen this fast, which is why he was still on the apps. It's been about 3 weeks now, we're still going out, and he still doesn't know when he's leaving, but he definitely is. We haven't talked about what happens now and what we are doing, but we did discuss exclusivity. Also, we haven't talked about what happens when he moves. I don't think I want long distance, but I do like him, and I think there's good compatibility, so I'm sad to let that go. Do I keep seeing him now and progressing in the relationship knowing he's leaving soon? Or do I cut my losses now to not get more attached with a known end in sight? This is tough. So you're dating someone that you like, but they find out that they have to move for a job, and it's kind of early, so you don't really know how to discuss the future. My best advice for this one is to just ask him, like, what do you see happening between us when you move, right? That's just like a logistical question, really. And yes, it's emotional. Yes, it's about the relationship, but it's also like, hey, I'm in your life. We're dating. What do you see happening? What's your vision for this? And he might not know the answer, but at least you can open up the conversation and you can say your piece. I recommend also thinking about what you want before you have that conversation so you're ready to verbalize and share exactly what you want. Because if you don't, the danger is that you'll talk about it and not get anywhere, right? So I think it's good to at least know what you want before going to that conversation. It's going to be a lot better. And definitely be honest about not being sure about wanting long distance. You also have to hear where he's at with that and hear him out. So, go into those conversations knowing that you don't have to decide anything right away, but you do deserve to have that conversation. It's not asking for too much. It's not too much too soon. You're just checking in on where you're at and dealing with the circumstances that are happening right now. I hope that helps. Let me know what you think. And once again, I want to thank you for listening. Thanks for trusting me. Don't forget, you're doing great. And if you know someone who is navigating dating and needs a little confidence boost or a fresh perspective, I would love it if you share this episode with them. Also, if you're enjoying the podcast and it's helping you, dropping a 5-star rating on Apple or Spotify goes a really long way. Once again, I'm Talia. This has been Dating Intentionally, and I'll catch you next time.